Alright, hello, welcome to Ben's OP Game Show, recorded live, which is, again, super obvious if you ever hear where this starts. 3 p.m. Pacific time, every Friday, right here, twitch.tv/TheGameFanatics. On this week's show, I'm going to talk about Fire Emblem Heroes, the new mobile game that just came out 2 days ago? I don't know how time works. And also, I kind of put probably too much effort, but I made some kind of dream possibilities of what could happen with the Switch, but very realistic where the Switch should go positively and where it could go negatively. We'll see how that happens. And also, I don't have any big stories of the week to go over or to talk about. Usually I have a story or two, and I was going to talk about Oculus and Palmer Luckey having to pay millions of dollars, and I think that's funny because I don't like him. He doesn't wear shoes. That's incomprehensible. Just please put on shoes. I can't stand this man. Put on shoes. But notwithstanding, I think this is the first time in 67 episodes or something I'm not gonna do an opening thing at all. I'm just gonna do topics. I don't know. I don't know. Who cares? Who cares? So without further ado, we'll actually do. Let's talk about Fire Emblem Heroes. Let's get the trailer going. All my stuff covers up the IGN logo, little watermark in the right corner. So Fire Emblem Heroes is the mobile game, obviously, that just came out. And I'm a pretty big fan of Fire Emblem, but I haven't played one really since, oh god, the Wii? I know I beat the GameCube one. Played the Game Boy Advance one before that, and played the Wii one a little bit. And that's it. And I have to say, the first hour of this mobile experience here is incredible. I really love what it did. Fire Emblem is great. Fire Emblem is so good. So incredibly fun. The weapon triangle that it always has. The different classes, moving things around the board. It's a great little chess match to have going. But then, and I've played maybe through chapter 5 or 2 chapter 5. Yeah, I think 2 chapter 5, the middle of chapter 5. Things start, it's fun. It's always fun. It's always fun. But things start kind of I want a full Fire Emblem. I want bigger maps. I want better, like you can't move that's the entire map. That's the entire map. You can't move around. There's nowhere to go. You're moving 2 squares a turn. They're moving 2 squares a turn. It's such a small battlefield. It's always 4v4. So in a way, it's like a perfect bite size, get in, get out, you're done playing Fire Emblem. And that's awesome because sometimes Fire Emblem maps can be like 45 minutes and it's a little, it's a little much. Even though I love it, just a little much. And I fucking this is the whole thing, is I love Fire Emblem. Playing this, I realized how much I really do love Fire Emblem. And the only reason I really did it is because there's not a lot going on. I'm waiting for Neo to come out. So I figured, oh, this is happening. I have to play this. I like Fire Emblem. Let's give it a shot. And it's great. But it's also kind of bad and kind of limited. It is free to play. I haven't spent any money. I haven't even tried to summon a hero from another world. I don't even know why you would. I can just level up the people I have. They seem to be doing fine. Summoning people seems to be something you do maybe late game or whatever to get the super powerful guys and then level them up. But as it stands, I don't really see a reason to do that. I have no need to do that. So I'm just not going to do it. And that's not great for the game. There's also it has a menu problem where there's 6 things on the bottom of the screen, than the main menu. And then each one has 6 other sub-menus, and the home menu has a bunch of characters on it and a bunch of other icons, and you just start tapping around everywhere. And maybe it's just because I don't play a lot or any mobile games. Very confusing to find things, or I have to level up this character, or if I want to, let me go level up this character. I have to tap level up. then I have to tap the character, then I have to tap yes, then I have to tap this. Like it's so involved. Like these menus on top of menus. Like we can streamline this. I know we can streamline this a little bit. Please streamline this. It's out of control. How much is really? There's just 16 different menus. You even go to like the battle screen. It's like, oh, battle. Do you want to go to the training tower? Do you want to do versus battles? Do you want to do the main campaign? Oh, you want to do the main campaign? Well, here's 2 squares. One's blurred out though. I'm like, okay, let me do the main campaign. Which chapter do you want? This one. Which level of the chapter? This one. Are you sure you want to do that? Yes. And it takes like 16 taps to get anywhere. And maybe that's just me being like an old fuddy-duddy, whatever. Because the game is good. I do like it. I like how short the matches are. As I mentioned, it's a ton of fun to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. The permadeath is gone, so you're just kind of fucking around. I enjoy that. It is worth mentioning that I don't know how anyone plays mobile games. I really don't. Playing on my phone like this, I can't. I'm not gonna play like this with my hand in the air like a psychopath. So about an hour into the game, or hour of playing the game, I found a way to connect it via USB to my PC and play the game with my mouse, just like screen mirroring my Android phone onto my PC. And you know what? That's a lot of fun. That makes the game a good deal more fun for me to play. I can sit back in my chair, relax with the mouse. That's perfect. I highly recommend people do that. And I think you can do that even on, like, that's a lot easier if you have a Chromecast or something. Because the way I'm doing it's like this bootleg way. Or Apple has their little thing that you can do. I recommend doing that. There's a little, you can play with a controller as well. It has a little icon for it, but I don't. Why would I have a controller that I know how to use for a phone? Why would I do that? No, it's not a thing I'm doing. So anyway, playing on the computer, awesome. That's how I played maybe 3 hours of it throughout some today and a lot yesterday. Really enjoyed it. That's how this game should be played. On a fucking system. That's the entire thing with this game is, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh, this is really cool. But if it was just a full Fire Emblem game, I'd like it more. Like, I'd really like it. I'd really like it more. And I gotta give it a lot of props though for it being free to play. It doesn't have very little at all, like, reason to buy anything. I'm not summoning people, as I said. Maybe if I did, I'd want to spend money eventually. I don't know the pricing or how crazy that gets. I have maybe 50 orbs and it takes 5 to summon, at least the first summon. But you get this, you have a stamina gauge, so you have 50 stamina, and that's another way to make you not play a ton, but I've never run out of it. And in fact, the lowest I've seen it was like 26 or something, and that was when I started doing hard difficulty of chapter 1 or 2 or something, and it was, I think, probably chapter 1, where it took 7 stamina to try the level. So each level you do is like, oh, this takes 2 stamina, and you're going through a ton of these missions, 2, and you get 1 stamina for 5 minutes. So you play a mission, you almost have 1 stamina. If the mission takes 2 stamina, you're not going to run out, you know. But as it gets further and further, 5 stamina, 7 stamina, things start going up. And so I could see that kind of being annoying, but at least there's no reason not to try this, right? And the only reason I haven't tried, for instance, Mario Run is because it's not on Android. Or if it came out on Android, I'd totally use Space, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is on Android yet. Anyway, it's great, and not great, and just okay. This isn't a review. This isn't anything. It's just, it's good, you know? It's a good experience. It's not, I don't know. I think it could be really nice to get people into the series. That's the big thing I like about it, even though it's already super popular, Fire Emblem. Get people into it. That's super cool. I must say, I am a fan of the kind of anime melodrama stuff they do in these games, even though it's goofy and stupid. This is very dumb. Like, it starts off where there's like too much talking, and then it devolves into almost no talking, and they'll straight up be moments where a character will come and be like, I'm the bad guy, and I don't want to fight you, but I'm gonna have to, and I'm gonna give it my all, okay? And he leaves, and you're like, okay, well that was a really weird little monologue you had with yourself right now. And then when you defeat them, like, oh, I see the errors of my ways. I guess I'll see you later. Okay, we're fighting this battle against the whatever. Like, this is the thinnest plot I've ever seen. It is so just let's just let me play the goddamn game. And once you get to chapter 3, I think the vast majority of the missions don't even have an intro or outro cutscene. It's just play. Just like, here's 4 guys, you're beating them up. And that's when the game works the best. When it's not doing these, as much as I like the little anime pictures and the dialogue is so dumb most of the time, when it is good, it's like, is it really worth it to read all of this for the one line of like, haha, that's cool? I don't know. It certainly seems like the other Fire Emblem games are better at that in particular. There's also I know people really like the relationships and all of that. That's gone entirely. I mean, I know it got kind of overboard with it. You can have kids and you can all this stuff. The kids aren't in it, but not even earlier games had stuff where you could stand next to people and get bonding there. That's not even around. I don't know. It's a weird little thing, but I appreciate them doing it. And it's very interesting to kind of speculate maybe on what Animal Crossing could be. Like, what could Animal Crossing, based on what Fire Emblem is, shrunk down to mobile, what is the Animal Crossing shrunk down going to be? Because it better not be Happy Home Designer. But I kind of think we might be getting a Animal Crossing Lite. In a way that this is. Because you could always imagine, oh, it's not going to be the same game as it's on handheld. Sure. But this really is a watered down Fire Emblem. And at its core, Fire Emblem is a great game. What could a watered down Animal Crossing be? That's very interesting to me. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. But I imagine it will be paying off a lot of debt and a lot of walking around. And that's one game that I think could really utilize the being on a phone and like, oh, it's 6 p.m. There was an event going on in my town. Let me check it and see. With a smaller map, maybe like only 3 people in your town and Tom Nook. Something like that I could see them doing. The game was delayed, the Animal Crossing. I don't even think it had a date, but they delayed it again. Whatever, Nintendo. I'll wait. It's cool. This is, again, I don't know. It's like stones to make a hero. I haven't summoned anyone. I have no idea. There's like 16 different currencies you're getting all the time. I don't know. I don't know. And not only that, I don't even know how to find out. I don't even know. I keep getting this item. I don't even know where to find it to see what it does. No idea. No clue. There's no items in the game. Like, there's no potions. You can't heal yourself. You have to have a mage to heal you. And I think the biggest limiting factor, besides the small map size, really is the 4v4 nature of it. It's fine, but I'd love to have actual battles. And I guess what I'm saying is should probably have played one of these Fire Emblem games that came out. The 16 Fire Emblem games that came out in the last 5 years. Probably should have played one. That's what I'm learning, is I was a fool. I was a fool for never doing that. But I want to play it on my TV. That's the whole point. That's why I put this on my computer, so I could play it. Because I don't want to sit down and play anything on a handheld. It's just where I am in life. It's just where I am in life. This dumb, useless fact. Lady of the Lake. Oh, it is nice seeing all these characters from other Fire Emblem games. That's cool. But again, it's so ham-fisted with the story of like, all right, I guess that's why. I don't know if you really needed a reason why, or you needed to make Martha be a bad guy just because he wanted him to be. Like, oh, Roy's bad now because he thinks he's doing the right thing. But it's like, okay, but this is 3 lines of dialogue. And then he's like, I guess I was wrong. Whatever. Robin's here too. Yeah. I mean, but it's dumbed down in a good way. Also, hello, welcome back. We should expect them to be dumbed down. And it is very dumbed down. But not, like, that's not to be disparaging against it. It is still the deep Fire Emblem strategy. It's just, it has the smaller map and the smaller, party size. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I wouldn't have played maybe 3 or 4 hours of it. Maybe, I don't know. I can't keep track. It's on my phone. It's just weird. And I guess at the end of the day, I hope it turns into success for Nintendo going forward. Like, this is what, like, oh, this is a Fire Emblem game? oh, there's one coming out for the Switch or for the 3DS. I'll look at that. That's what I want it to be. I don't want this to be a lot of people download it and just kind of like do nothing with it. I at the same time though, Mario Run had a big success. Pokemon Go had a big success, at least initially. What is this gonna do? Well, I haven't heard anything. Like the day after Mario Run, the day after Pokemon Go, we're hearing all these stories of this is how good it did. Haven't heard anything yet. So, I mean, it's early. It's been out 24 hours, right? It remains to be seen how well it's going to do. I think it is very convoluted in its microtransaction. I mean, there's so many currencies. There's like these swords you can get, and you can use an item for that. There's stamina recovery. There's these orbs. There's Nintendo points that I don't even know if I can do anything with them, but I'm getting them. There's white gems, red gems, green gem. Like there's all these gems. I don't know what they do. I don't know how to use them. It really took a good time to explain the battle system and all that, but not enough time to explain the 16 different menus below or what any of them do or anything like that. But it definitely works because I'm a big Fire Emblem fan who's lapsed, I guess you could say, and I want to go back and play another Fire Emblem. I would like be on board. I looked up the new one that's coming out on 3DS. I looked that up. I was like, when is this coming out? Like, I will totally buy this and play this. It's coming out in May. I was like, damn it. I want this way sooner than May, but that's fine, I guess. Space it out with the Switch and all that. Yeah, it's definitely a testing ground of what's going on. Let's see how they do. Let's see what happens. Let's not go crazy with it. Like it's the same thing with Mario Run. This is Mario. Everyone knows Mario. Let's do this. We can do this well. Let's not go crazy. You don't come out the gate with Mario Galaxy, right? You don't start there. You start with a lower barrier of entry thing. It'd be foolish to start there. And so that's what this is. You know, it'd be crazy to have a modern, like to have Awakening on the phone. Like you'd be scrolling around on the map. You got all these character relationships. It starts off with a 20-minute talking scene, you know. I don't know if that one does, but a lot of them do. And then you'd beat a mission would take 10 minutes. Like obviously it has to be shrunk down and truncated. And I don't know, it is a testing ground, but when these people go to play an actual Fire Emblem game or even an actual Mario game, they're going to find a very different experience if they're not, you know, if they're expecting what the mobile game is, just a little bigger. In Fire Emblem's case especially, it's going to be way bigger and different. So many more features, and you're equipping all these things and like relationships and having children with these people and your base back home. Like there's a lot more systems and stuff involved, not even including just the long plot dialogue stuff it does. I don't know if that's I think it's going to work better with Animal Crossing. I'm honestly surprised, even with the success of Fire Emblem in recent years, I'm surprised they went with Fire Emblem first. It seems like Animal Crossing would be the sure thing that like casual people who haven't played it would see it and hear about it and be like, oh, that is cool. I'll play that. And you already have the additional big Animal Crossing audience. Fire Emblem is a weird choice, but maybe smart. I mean, these games, these are like Hearthstone, like you mentioned, have seen huge success. So maybe it's smart. Maybe that's, you know, on my part, maybe it's smarter to release a strategy game like that that's a little different than everything. I mean, are there a lot of turn-based strategy games on the phone? I don't think so. I'm not going to claim to be an expert in that field, but I don't think so. Lance and Thunder. Oh, I forgot about the elements too. They combined that together, didn't they? Yeah, that's different. I feel like that's different. The controls work, but I didn't even mention that. The controls work well. That's the other reason why I made it to where I could play it on my PC, so I could see the screen. Because when you're playing a mobile game, I feel like half the time I'm looking at my hand. So putting it on, you know, my PC where I can just play it with a mouse, way better. Way better when you can see what you're doing and dragging it all around. I like that. That's my big complaint against a lot of DS games too. Like the Kirby Canvas Curse or whatever, and you're drawing, it's like I can't even see what I'm drawing. My stupid hand's in the way. Ridiculous. All right, well, that's a long time. I didn't expect to talk 20 minutes about this game because there's a lot more to go through. I built dream scenarios going on the Switch. Too much work and effort went into this, but it's happening. Okay, neighbors, I get it. You fell down. That's great. Crazy people. So let's take a look, and I'm going to be reading off, to like full disclosure, I'm reading off a thing I wrote for the most of the part of this because I had to write my thoughts down and get it really into it. I spent probably too much time setting this whole thing up, but this really was something on my mind for a long time of what's the best that could happen with the Switch and what's the worst that could happen. There's always that dream of like, oh, they could do this, and they could do this, and they could do this. But that's like totally geeking out fanboy territory. You know, like that's too far gone. I wanted to make this really realistic. And even for the dire bad scenario, I wanted to make it like this is what actually could happen. It's not going to be they slip and fall and they're out of business in a week. Like that, obviously that's the worst that could happen, but that's not realistically going to happen. So, to get into it, what's the best case scenario that could happen realistically and in my opinion with the Switch? Okay. As I said, this is not a pie in the sky hyperbole idea here. These are things that could happen and have precedent with what Nintendo has done in the past from facts in my brain and history. Okay. It's like a PowerPoint. Now, let's start with Virtual Console, which might be a weird place to start, but I think is important. So early on, they start having themed months with Virtual Console. A Mario month with Mario 1 and 2 one week, and the next week would be Mario World and Mario Land, then Mario Kart and a selection of sports games, and maybe even Mario Party. This would be perfect for the month preceding Mario Odyssey. They can have a Kirby month and do the same exact thing. Repeat for Zelda, Pokemon, Metroid, Yoshi, Star Fox, anyone and everyone. Imagine each month for a year that focused on a single mascot, like the Year of Luigi, but with 1 month filled with all the classic titles for each individual Nintendo mascot. Now it sounds crazy, but the best part about all this is that they've already made the vast majority of these games available on Virtual Console. Throughout this year of mascots on Virtual Console, there would also be great third-party Virtual Console games being released. Now, with a slower than many would want list of game releases in 2017, hammering hard on Virtual Console would more than make up for it and show they mean business. And the best part, like I just kind of said, is that they have these games on Virtual Console already. And I know it isn't as simple as dragging and dropping the game, but many, if not all of these, are on the Wii and the 3DS and the Wii U. They can do it again and really blow people away with their stellar back catalog by releasing a veritable torrent of nostalgia on the gaming masses. My upstairs neighbors are really excited about this. Now, this doesn't even mention the rumored GameCube Virtual Console support, but since this is supposed to be like a realistic look at what could happen in the best possible scenario, I must mention it, but note that it is still a dream until an official announcement. Now, obviously, that's not the only piece of the puzzle here. The game lineup is light, but it does feature Zelda at launch and 1-2 Switch, which some people actually like. they've also done a fantastic job of having a major release every month or so with ARMS, Mario Kart, Splatoon 2, and then Mario Odyssey later out in the fall. It's a great start, but there are a few nagging questions about missing franchises we know will be found eventually on the Switch. Big first-party exclusives is how this device will live or die, and they have one opportunity to begin to make things right: E3. Now, they won't outright kill the 3DS at E3, but it will make a strong downward turn, with most of the titles being for the Switch or cross-platform on both. And the most important part about all of that is that the last big Nintendo exclusive for the 3DS will release in early 2018, and we'll know it's coming well before that. It makes sense to hedge their bets and keep the 3DS around in the short term, but in the long term, it becomes an obstacle to making the most games on a single platform. 2017 releases will be light, but E3 will start to show that 2018 and beyond will become a Nintendo fan's dream. The following, again, is all speculation, but it is not without thought. These games are all but sure things for the most part, with a few looking forward with maximum positivity, because this is the dream scenario after all. So let's start off with a new Kirby game in early 2018 for 3DS and Switch. All right, and then we have Retro. Where's Retro Studios been? Their new game coming out sometime in 2018, I'm just guessing here, in summer, and it isn't Metroid. That's the other thing. Now, speaking of Metroid, we will get a Metroid Prime trilogy on Virtual Console in that same summer to prepare everyone for the fall 2018 new Metroid game. Couple this with early spring of Smash on the Switch with all new content, stages, and characters, and everything from both Wii U and 3DS versions in one game. Super Mario Maker could also very well come out for the Switch with new items to use and the ability to play all previous created stages, as well as new themes to create with. Not out of the realm of possibility at all. Additionally, the new Pikmin game, Pikmin 4, not the 3DS one, which has been done for years, will release sometime in 2018. This year will also feature a Fire Emblem that we already know about, and a new Animal Crossing, although the latter, might just be the final 3DS Switch cross-platform game. Now this is a very strong lineup, and it isn't so crazy. Most of this is already known and expected, with some of these series having taken a large break from their previous release, particularly with Animal Crossing. I also didn't even mention Pokemon Stars, which could even be out this year. Not 2018, 2017. And then going into 2019, Star Fox is back, a new Super Mario, F-Zero, etc. Let's not even forget that the 3DS at this point would be gone. So that means a new Monster Hunter would hit the Switch and addict a whole new group of people. Dragon Quest would also be out. Shin Megami Tensei be out. Likely also in 2019. There's no point in going any further into the future for this roadmap, but it is an incredible lineup. And like I've been saying, not out of the realm of possibility. They have it within their power to do all of this. It's the same amount of games they've been releasing during the 3DS and Wii U timeframe. And look, it's Slippy. And millennials. Now, the portability and the realization of Virtual Console's potential will enrapture the hardcore and the press and seep very quickly into the mainstream, especially with titles like ARMS and Splatoon. Nintendo's toe dip into the waters of mobile with Mario, Fire Emblem, and Animal Crossing will also help bring more people to the Switch, like this family. The online service won't become a Netflix for Nintendo where you can pay a single price and get everything, but there will be discounts, especially for owners of these games that bought them on Wii U and 3DS. I fear the Wii Virtual Console stuff will not transfer over. But with the popularity of the Switch will come more third-party support, but the games won't be the same as their Xbox One and PS4 counterparts. Most won't care because you can play these games anywhere, which I think is a big selling feature. Now, this success opens Nintendo up to a future console hybrid, or perhaps a scenario where the consumer could buy only the home portion or only the portable portion, but I see them keeping it as one unit for as long as possible. After all, they will have successfully combined their two gaming spaces to create something for old fans, new fans, and even dissenters. Because at the end of the day, people don't care if Skyrim is 6 years old or looks better on the PS4 Pro. They can play it on the bus, on an airplane, literally anywhere. The promise of console games on the go has never truly been met by the 3DS or the Vita, but with the Switch, we know it already will be. The future could look very bright for Nintendo and the Switch so long as they nail E3 and within a year respectfully kill the 3DS. Otherwise, a storm could be on the horizon. Now, how did that sound to you? I tried to make it well within reason. Let me know in the comments below, hashtag it's 2005. Right? You like that? I like that. I'm a simple, easy person to please. No, Dougie. Make your comments now. But I like this freeze frame of this girl. Just, oh no, it's this way. Pachow! 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 You know, it took, I spent probably too long on this. Look at these gross people though too. Can we examine their table? I got this nasty ass pizza. Half-eaten pizza just sitting there on the thing. A Mario cupcake. Mario cookies. Popcorn of some kind just flopping around on the floor. I don't like these people. They're up to no good. These people do not deserve the Switch. That controller is probably all nasty and sticky. Sickos. I forgot to change the thing on the bottom. It's such a crisis. I don't know why I changed over so quickly. I'm still getting stuff set up. So going off the positive scenario, and now with my little text on the bottom there actually changed, let's take a look at what realistically could be the worst case scenario to happen with the Switch. And unfortunately, I think it's the one that's more likely to happen, which is a bummer, which is a big bummer. And here's sad Mario. Look at him, he's all sad. No, don't do that. Go back to sad Mario. Okay. So with the light launch lineup, a bizarre reveal event, and a well-paced but questionable list of exclusives for the rest of 2017, the Switch could be headed for a lot of trouble, and don't forget about third parties, which are currently not showing much love for the device. Which is now the slide I revealed too early. Now say what you will about Zombie U, but at least it wasn't exclusive from a third party and a AA type of experience. Looking at the launch, the Switch doesn't have anything like that. The next possible thing that I can think of is Octopath Traveler and Shin Megami Tensei, both of which are super niche and clearly aren't aiming to be what Zombie U wanted to be. Not to mention, they aren't even launch titles. And no, Bomberman isn't in the same league as Zombie U. I don't care how you feel about Zombie U. Bomberman, not quite on that level. There's clearly little faith in what Nintendo is doing, or developers weren't given much time to get to work. Otherwise, there would have been a lot more to talk about at that very questionable reveal event. Now, however, I think it's obvious the Switch will sell out initially, but I don't see it staying that way for long. The $300 price tag and lack of exclusives, unless you're a Zelda fan, will allow many people to wait it out. But people who bought the device will have a cool new game every month to check out. Whether that be Zelda or Splatoon 2 or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, these titles are also the same that didn't set the world on fire with the Wii U. So it stands to reason they could have little influence on the Switch as well. Very little is known about the fall games for Switch, and almost nothing is known for 2018. Nintendo is playing the future really close to the chest, while also explicitly stating that 3DS isn't over. They are hedging their bets hardcore. And this can be seen in the new Fire Emblem game for 3DS, and in Fire Emblem Warriors coming to Switch and new 3DS. And why should they abandon a successful handheld? Well, because too much support for it will create the same splitting of efforts that made a lot of people feel the Wii U didn't have all that many games. The expectation of a portable console hybrid was to unify all of Nintendo's development so they can just focus on one device. Over-supporting or continuing to support, or even worse, releasing a 3DS successor will kill the Switch. There's absolutely no reason to keep both running together towards the goal line. They don't want people to think they can keep their 3DSs and not miss anything from the Switch. And here starts the doomsday of this scenario here. That is a slow trailer for that game. With a sparse, again, but good list of games in 2017 for the Switch, Nintendo continues to release several 3DS games, such as this new Pikmin offshoot. We'll know which route they've chosen here at E3 when the number of games for each device is revealed and discussed. A lot of people have 3DSs, and continuing to show too much support, while nice, will lead people to not want to switch to Switch. If E3 doesn't reveal that many Switch games, even if they are actually in development, consumer confidence with the taste-making hardcore will drop even lower. And also, I don't like this Pikmin game. I think it looks kind of stupid. Even with Mario in the fall, a dark outlook could already be cast on this device. 4 big titles a year isn't enough when the gaming public expects more. And this affects third parties as well, which again, already not super on board. There's also the awkward and strange aspects of the online functionality with the voice chat and all that, but that won't sink the ship, right? Virtual Console could, though. Look at little Mario, man. Get out of New York City, that's weird. Now, with the Wii U and 3DS, Nintendo has shown they don't quite understand what they have on their hands. They have dozens and dozens of some of the best games ever made, but between buying them all again and again and flat out not releasing them on all devices or in a timely manner, seriously, if the Switch doesn't launch with or have release dates for most or not all of these following titles, Super Metroid, Mario World, Zelda 1, Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Mario 64, etc., we'll know they have no clue what's going on. And I expect them to do just that. I understand blowing your load with 300 games on launch day is a bad idea, but giving the nostalgic gamers a roadmap of what to expect and when would go a long way. And it would also help ease the gap in new exclusive games. Between Splatoon 2 and Mario Odyssey, what is there? Well, there could be a weekly release of Virtual Console games people would love to have with them at home or on the go, but they won't do this. In the Doomsday scenario, we'll have to buy everything all over again, and releases will be random, sporadic, and arbitrary, just as they've always been. For fuck's sakes, Pokemon Snap just came out last month on the Wii U Virtual Console. Why now? Why at all at this point? Their online service, regardless of the price, could do some incredible things with more than 2 free games a month, disappearing or not. But it won't do anything. You won't even get F-Zero. For years, people have wanted Nintendo to make the Netflix of games by... This is why you do it live, because you fuck it up. To make the Netflix of games by opening up the Nintendo Vault for a nominal fee per month and letting people go nuts. The amount of money to be made with that is large, but they won't do that either. Not even close. They'll do what they've always done. And maybe they'll release an SNES Classic. By early 2018, we'll already see the decline within a year of launch, with 3DS unfathomably getting more games and Switch having 4 big ones planned out for the year, just like 2017. But Nintendo isn't stupid. They'll see this and begin to do what they should have done all along, unite the two fronts. But it will be too late. Cross-platform new 3DS and Switch games will be the norm, and people will like them, but not see enough reason to switch to Switch. By the time of the 3DS's swan song, probably sometime in late 2018, the Switch will have been out for over a year, and in 2018, we'll have only seen 1 or 2 major exclusive releases. The union will work though and create a stronger device, but the damage will already have been done. The Xbox One is still recovering from its disastrous TV reveal, and the Switch is likely to suffer a similar fate. Even in this dark timeline, the Switch will have a successor, one that is also a hybrid device, and maybe that time they'll have a virtual console, online, and a games lineup in a row. Because once you change into a single pillar that does both, you can't really change back. Or can you? Nintendo is nothing if not unpredictable. If this is the worst it realistically could get for the Switch, this will be just like the Wii U, albeit with a shorter life and oddly a better ending and a brighter look towards the future. Hopefully. And hopefully also we don't have to go down this path. Now what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Hashtag is 2005. I'm gonna make that a hashtag. It upsets the grammar nerd in me because you can't have an apostrophe in a hashtag. But I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate the hashtag. It's 2005 again. Put the comments below. That's my little presentation. It's like I had to do a report. That was my 3,000 word report on Nintendo. But it's fun to do. And I think I'm going to start doing more little video essay things like that. I wish I could get a monitor and have it under here so I could look straight ahead. I can't. Maybe I could work on that. I might be able to get that to work. But I also might drop the monitor and break everything in front of me, which is not a risk I'm willing to take. I'm not going to break everything just so I can look at the screen. That seems dangerous. Oh, I could move the desk. These are things I should think about on my own time, is what I'm saying. But unless anyone, hello, is out there, has a comment or any suggestion, this is the show every Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, for about 45 minutes to an hour. Twitch.tv/thegamefanatics or here. I don't know why. Well, maybe your YouTube. I'll probably get more views on YouTube. I stream Mario Maker on my own channel, which is why I'm super excited for hopefully another Mario Maker. Please do that, please. Every Saturday and Sunday I stream that. On Wednesday I stream whatever. This last week I'm finishing up Rayman 2 on PS2, which is a bizarre abomination of Rayman 2. Next Wednesday will be Neo. It's all fucking about Neo. I'm so excited for Neo. Speaking of Neo also, I pre-ordered it and it shipped today. Very excited about that. So let's switch. Oh no, the Switch is like an Echo though. It's 2. Yeah, gotta get the more powerful Switch. The Switch that comes out in 3 years. In that doomsday scenario, I really do think they could fuck it up and kind of die, like when you're gonna trip, but instead you roll. They could dive and kind of roll into a 2019 Switch 2 that's not, or well, I guess it'd be 2020 Switch 2 that is better, and they kind of realign their efforts. But I don't think they could at this point. They could really fall on their face, and I still feel like they'd be okay in terms of they're not going to go third party. The more I think of it, the more hopeful I am for it, and that it will be at very least a Wii U, and hopefully a lot more in terms of sales, especially if they kill up the 3DS, which I really think they need to. The thing's old now too. That 3DS, even the new 3DS is what, 3 years old at this point? Send it out to pasture. Send it out. Let me know in the comments below.